This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judging blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Welcome to the Friday edition of A's Cast Live. We have an absolute jam-packed show. We have so much to go over with the trading deadline. We're going to have Jesús Cano break down the trades that the A's made with the Padres and also with the Cincinnati Reds coming up here at 5:30 from Baseball America. We're going to have the Mark Kotsay show to talk about the trades. That's going to be at 5:45. And I know everybody's tuning in because they want to hear about how we feel, how it went down, what we have learned since we had the day off yesterday. We've been at the ballpark all day, what we have learned. But before we do all that, Darell Hernaiz is with us as BP has just ended, and he is up here to start the show with us. My guy, how are you?
Doing great. Can't complain.
Well, it is good to have you back because I think of last year where you're really getting your first shot, you're getting your feet underneath you, you really started to get it going, and then you had that horrific injury at first base that kind of derailed you, and it is what it is, but, you know, past is the past, and you're here now. You got to feel great being back with the big club.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Like you said, that injury was tough. It was my first injury ever, and took a lot mentally, to get through it, and just worked my tail off. And this year went to AAA and was trying to play as good as I could to get here.
Obviously, that's the carrot, right? What you had last year at the big league level. This is your dream. It's what you want. You strive everything for it, and you had it, and then you don't. How much did that just inspire you to keep pushing every single day when you know you should be here?
Yeah, I mean, in the off season, I'd be lying to you. I mean, every single day was motivated work. I was planning or hoping to get here earlier, honestly, but just every day in the off season, I was just working as hard as I could, to have a successful year and be the big leaguer that I know I can be. And I don't know if anybody knows that, but I believe in myself. So hopefully that I just want to show that to everybody.
Well, we've talked about you here on A's Cast Live. We believe in you too, and we think that you should be here. I'm with you. I'm a little shocked you weren't here earlier. I think about your versatility, obviously a natural shortstop, but you're one of the only guys that I've really seen come up, and you can play second base. You can play third base, like legitly play it at this level. Talk about defense, what that means to you, and the versatility that you can play all the different positions.
Yeah, I take a lot of pride on defense, and I think my dad just instilled it in me since I was little, and it's kind of second nature now, or second to work so hard on defense and, try to take care of things on that side just because if the stick's not rolling, which is tough at this level to hit every day, and, you can consistently, work on your defense and try to be a consistent defender. And as far as versatility, I was with the Orioles, and we had Gunnar Henderson at shortstop, so kind of came up with him, and I had to play third and second, and I would play shortstop too, but I had to get used to it, and I knew it was for the best for eventually for the big leagues.
Yeah, back then you might not have known that this is the best thing for you, but maybe that was where it's like, hey, you got to play other positions, you got to be versatile, because this game now is all about versatility.
Yes, sir. I mean, we have Jacob Wilson at shortstop. He's an all-star starter, so I mean, there's not much I could do about that. I mean, he's a great player, and just got to be able to play somewhere else. He's like I said, he's an all-star starter, so he's obviously the best in the league. So, yeah, he deserves it for sure.
How important, though, is it, like right now, with him being out, that you do get to play your natural position at shortstop, which also could help you offensively?
Yeah, huge. I mean, so far I've only played 2 games, but just the comfortability factor, I think it like you said, it's helped. Just playing shortstop and knowing I don't have to think about anything in the back of my head, kind of sometimes you second doubt yourself for a second, just a split second. At shortstop, I don't have to think about literally anything. I know exactly where to be. Like it's instinct. I don't have to think about it. So it definitely helps comfortability wise.
And it's always something with the fans. Like you think, well, he played short. Why can't he play? It's just you've played short your entire life. It's like riding a bike. It's just so easy. Yes, at the other positions, it's still a little different. The sight lines are different. The hops are different. And that's even like when you think about third base. When you go over to second base, now it's even a completely different deal.
Yeah. At third base, you definitely the hops are different. It gets on you a little hotter. You have to kind of react. You can't use your feet as much as shortstop. You just react and dive. As far as second base, it's a completely different angle. You're seeing the field completely different. So it's a completely different game. But if you're athletic enough, I think you'll be fine.
What did you learn from last year being here to what you're going to utilize now up here offensively?
Honestly, how hard it is, like truthfully. And maybe a lot of people talk about that, but just seeing it myself. And I knew it's big leagues are never going to be easy, but just seeing it myself and struggling, it really put things into perspective that these guys are that good or the pitchers are really, really good and they'll expose you. So whether I go 0 for 4 or 4 for 4 today, like I'm going to keep battling. And I understand that the pitchers have a plan and they're good. They get paid a lot of money too, but just trying to believe in myself and not really. Last year, sometimes I got caught up in the name sometimes too. Whether we were facing a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, I would be like, dang, we're facing so-and-so. This year, I mean, it's only been 2 games, but I definitely think about it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm on the same level. I'm at the same level. We're playing the same game, so I can hit anybody, I feel like.
Yeah, it is very hard, and you can tell the fans this. It is really hard to go 0 for 4 and to just wash it and say, we're coming out tomorrow. It's hard to have that kind of failure and say, I'm just going to forget about it and we'll see you tomorrow.
100%, especially at the big league level. You need to wins matter, and you need to win every day. And when you go 0 for, you kind of feel like you let the team down or whatever the case might be. So you need to be mentally tough. And in the big leagues, you're not guaranteed to be in the lineup every day. Maybe if you have a contract or something, but you're not guaranteed to be in the lineup every day. So, you're just fighting to take quality at bats and do as best as you can because it is tough if you're not in the lineup every day as well.
Well, this will be the first reaction that anybody hears. The trading deadline shows up, players come, players go. Certain teams are adding, certain teams are subtracting. Now, obviously, there's new players coming up. They're going to be in the clubhouse today. Mason Miller was an all-star closer. J.P. Sears was a veteran pitcher here. Miguel Andujar was a veteran bat here. What was it like coming to the clubhouse? What was the mood after the trades?
Well, we had heard rumors about Mason, and we weren't too sure. But I made sure I said my goodbyes just because we had an off day yesterday just in case. But he's a great dude, and I wish him nothing but the best. I mean, I think it's a tough blow for the team, obviously, to help us win. I don't know too much about the guys that we got, but I've heard that the pitchers we got are great. And then Leo is supposed to be a future star. So I think, I'm not the one making those decisions, but it seems like we got a good package from what I've heard, at least.
Yeah, but, it's you guys are used to movement. And that's the thing that, for us, it's a little bit different as we get used to. We're not creatures of change normally, human beings. Baseball players, guys come and go, and like yourself, you're AAA, you're up here, you're down, you're up. Guys switch teams. It's part of the business. For players, it really is part of the business.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but like you said, you kind of get used to it. And I wouldn't say the vibes or anything were off, but that Mason's gone now and JP's gone, so. Even Miggy, I talk to Miggy a lot. It's just part of the business, like you said, and just got to keep trying to fight and win.
All right, what 51 games left? What are your expectations the rest of the way?
Win as many as possible, be as competitive as possible, and who knows? If we play good enough, why not fight for a wild card spot, or who knows? Why not just play as good as we can?
I love that. Why not us? Can you imagine the run?
That'd be awesome. Every day we come out here trying to win.
You start thinking about just you win 4 in a row against Houston and Houston. Then you take 2 out of 3 from Seattle. Maybe the vibes are something special. But I just wanted to say, as we know you got to go, I'm really happy for you. You know, when we first got to meet you, we did a lot with you here on A's Cast, and we talked about your future with the Athletics, and unfortunately you got hurt, and that was brutal. But, you know, it's going to take some time, but now you're showing once again why you're here. This is your time. Make the most of it, because we expect to have you on this show for many years.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm definitely working hard enough to make that happen.
All right. Good to see you, my friend.
Yes,
Darell Hernaiz right here on A's Cast Live. You, my friend, are free to go.
Thank you.
You're free to go. Okay, so we are going to have Jesús Cano. Are we going to do him here coming up at 5:15, Cody? Or what do we want to do? Because we know our buddy Mike Ferrin. We're adding our buddy Mike Ferrin, national host from SiriusXM Channel 89, is actually here doing Diamondbacks radio. He is going to join us. Are we going to do him at 5:30, or what are we going to do? I need to know our path.
Well, Ferrin, it looks like Ferrin is still down there talking to our good friend Torey Lovello, manager of the Diamondbacks, who we are hoping to speak to tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Torey Lovello, you probably won't be able to see that. We'll have that for NBC, but here on this show, we'll probably have to air it on Tuesday. We've established a great relationship with the manager of the Diamondbacks, so we definitely got to get him before he gets out of here. We love us, former A, Torey Lovello.
One of the greatest stories ever.
All right, what are we thinking? Because obviously a lot of people are like, all right, you guys got to talk trade.
We can talk trade here. We'll save him for 5:30. Ferrin shows up, he shows up.
All right. It's fascinating. And I know, like we just said with Darell, people hate change. We know fans hate change. Love J.P. Sears, what he has meant, and he's been so good to us. Love Mason Miller. Obviously, an extreme talent. Miguel Andujar, what he has been able to do. I mean, the way he stepped in at third base this year, and the fact that he hits for contact, actually hit a couple home runs before he left. But you need to understand where this team is right now at 48-63. I've done my homework, and Leo DeVries is a guy that A.J. Preller, the GM of the Padres, was telling everybody in baseball he was not available. Okay? This is how it went down. Padres have told everybody, and you can read about this, whether it was the Red Sox, whoever came to the Padres and said, we want this kid, he was unavailable. The Padres reached out to the A's. The A's didn't reach out to the Padres. The Padres made him available because A.J. Preller is a GM. I know. It's funny watching MLB Network, and they're like, oh, man, it's great. He's going for it. This guy is on his last legs. Mm-hmm. The man who was his biggest supporter, the owner, Peter Seidler, who loved and believed in A.J. Preller, unfortunately passed away. A lot of business is changing in San Diego. This is this guy's last ride. And he's being allowed to do this now. He wasn't taking on cash. This was not a cash deal. So if you're out there saying, it's just the A's, this was not about cash. A.J. Preller came to the A's, and he offered one of the biggest prospects in the history of baseball to be traded at this time. It's no question. Everybody thinks this kid has the ability to be an absolute star very soon. And I've done my homework on this, and just the way this thing happened is he really wanted Mason Miller. So he's telling everybody but else no on Leo DeVries. He came to the A's and said, what do you think about this? And he made it a no-brainer. Everybody in baseball will tell you what the A's did was a no-brainer. I understand you. It's not so much about Sears and about Andujar. I get it. It's about Mason Miller. But Mason Miller is a closer on a team that's not winning. Mason Miller is a closer with an arm. He's only gone three days in a row one time in his career. We have babied him for 2 years. I get it. You love him. I love him. He's a great guy. But you have the ability to get somebody who is a comp to Francisco Lindor or better. And if you think I'm spinning this, we'll spin this. I have more people today who told me if this kid was in this year's draft, he goes number 1. Number 1 overall over Eli Willits, who was with the Nats. Number 1. I've had multiple people tell me that. And if you go, well, what does that mean? Well, isn't that what Nick Kurtz is? Nick Kurtz was the 4th overall pick last year. I think we like him. Jacob Wilson was what, 6th?
Yeah, 6th, yep.
Would you trade a closer on a team that's not winning for a guy like Nick Kurtz? Of course you would. Well, this kid could be like Nick Kurtz. That's what the potential. This is the business of baseball. And I know we love our players and we want to ink up every single player, but on a team that's not winning and a closer that you don't use all the time and you're not 100% sure about anybody's arm, but as Keith Law, who has bagged the A's for years, said, if Mason Miller goes down with an injury, and once again, we have to baby him, the minute he goes down with an injury, his value is 0.
Evaporates was already used.
You're selling Mason Miller at the very highest level. This is one of the highest of all time prospects ever traded at the deadline.
I have right here. Since baseball MLB Pipeline began ranking prospects in 2004, only Johan Moncada, who was number 1 with the Red Sox, was a higher-ranked prospect than DeVries to get traded.
I hated the Cespedes trade. And if you listen to me on 95.7 The Game, I went off on the Josh Donaldson trade. I went off on the Josh Donaldson trade so much because I loved and believed in Josh Donaldson that Billy Beane said, get over it, don't fall in love with the players. If you remember back. Kind of scolded me, like, get over it.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah. Now Korak's weighing in.
Well done.
And you know what? I'm public out there. I wasn't happy about the Olsen trade.
Yeah, no,
because I believed in Matt Olson. But I'll tell you what, I'd take Nick Kurtz over Matt Olson right now. So don't say that I've never not liked trades and I've gone with everything, because I'm clearly on the record was not happy about the Donaldson trade. And I didn't care about who Franklin Barreto is. This is different. This is different. You're talking about getting a super athletic, switch hitting, 6'1", who everybody has known about. Now, the way the business works, the Padres wrapped him up a long time ago. So everybody's known he's going to be a Padre. Because, just the way the business works, they wrap up these kids and promise these kids, and it's just the business of international baseball. But everybody down there has known this kid has the potential to be a star. Some people predicted he'd be in San Diego next year. For sure in San Diego by 2027.
He doesn't turn 19 until October. So it's he's the youngest guy playing, I think, in organized baseball right now.
Yeah.
And he'll be 19 like October 6th or 11th, either way. He'll be 19 in October when the season's essentially – Padres can be the playoffs, but when our season's over, he'll be just turning 19. So next year he won't be 20 until our season's over.
This is not a sales job. Everywhere you read, when you look at the trade deadline,
we come out as winners.
We come out as A's.
Yeah.
Like not A's as in A's for athletics, as in A's as in the grade.
Yeah. And
because everybody in baseball would do this deal. You don't build around a closer if you have a losing team. Love Mason Miller or not, but also Mason Miller has only one time in his career gone 3 days in a row. Mason Miller has never had to do the tough 70-plus gauntlet of a team that's winning. And good luck to Mason Miller. And there's rumors the Padres are going to try and turn back into a starter, and good luck with that. And you got 3 other arms that can help you.
And one of them's here now.
Eduardinel, I got it right. Nunez is here now. Flamethrowers. You got Braden Nett, Padres number 3, 22 years old, AA, could be starting for the A's next year. And the same thing with Henry Baez, number 13. So you potentially got 3 starting pitchers, but Nunez can start or he can be in the bullpen. He's here tonight. He is going to start with the bullpen. You can call it spin all you want at this point. I don't care. If you don't see it, you don't see it. You want to hold on to every player. And I don't want to get into the down and dirty of why there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get into that. No matter what things this organization does right now, people are going to be mad. Those people you can't care about, unfortunately, and I love a lot of you, but we can't worry about what you feel. This kid probably is going to be the starting shortstop for the Athletics, and I'm going to say it, 2028 in Las Vegas. Now, Jacob Wilson will be here too. Where he will play, we're going to have to figure all of that out. But this kid has the ability to be better than Francisco Lindor, which tells you a lot about what he has. It is a no-brainer deal. If he was in the draft this year, he would have been the number 1 overall pick. Would you trade? Like, I played this game. If Nick Kurtz was a prospect for the Padres, would you trade Mason Miller for Nick Kurtz?
Yes.
If Jacob Wilson was a prospect for the Padres, would you trade Mason Miller for Jacob Wilson?
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Well, I've said it, and I apologize if people have heard me say this before on this program, but the Milwaukee Brewers have replaced 2 different all-star closers with another closer who's now an all-star. You could always find a closer, and I had this discussion with one of our mutual friends. It's an A's fan, and he just kept going, yeah, but those guys don't throw 105. That's great, but they're also not going to have a risk of Tommy John. Guys have been fine. Williams has been fine.
I hope it's wrong, but the odds of throwing 103, 102, and trying to do that for 70 something, because if the A's were a team that was winning 90, 95, my God, 100 games, how many times you're going to get up, get down, get up, get down? How many times you're going to go? We've babied Mason Miller for 2 years. Absolutely. How many times have you seen Mason Miller go 2 days in a row and the next day he's completely off the shelf? Now, the Padres can do that right now with their bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
But
Jason Adam and Suarez, yeah.
Yeah, Suarez, everybody thought Suarez was going to get dealt when Mason Miller, so they have multiple closers now. They're going for it now. But we're talking about what's best for our ball club. Forget the 51 games now. It's about 26, 27, and ultimately the old Cleveland Indian style when they moved into the Jacobs Field in 1995. What are you going to look like when you move into Vegas in 2028?
Yeah, and the guys we got, and then including obviously the Miguel Andujar trade, we got a young pitcher there who's coming off Tommy John pitching in low A. It will be pitching in high A with Lansing. Real quick, have an update from Lansing. 8-1 lug nuts. Leo DeVries is 1 for 2 with a sac fly. So he's 1 for 2 with the sac fly.
So he's hitting the 2 games. He's already played it. Listen, this kid found out he was going to the A's. He's 18 years old. He looked up on his phone how far Lansing was and said, I can be there in just under 3 hours. Tell them I want to be in the lineup. This is an 18-year-old. You think that this kid's got some brass ones. He told the A's front office, I have infielder drills that I like to do. I'm going to get there early, put me in the lineup. I'm leading off. How many 18-year-olds who have already been paid multiple millions of dollars who get traded, go fill up their tank and say, I'll be there, and you're in a foreign country, by the way. The maturity of this kid says, I'm going to be there in less than 3 hours. Tell him I'm going to be in the lineup.
You love hearing that. And he's hitting second today, which doesn't matter. He's hitting in lead off second, doesn't matter. Those are the 2 positions you want to see him. And he's 1 for 2, and he has a hit in both games. That's a good sign for what the future can hold for this kid. Hopefully, maybe hopefully start of next year, he's in AA, progresses through there quickly and gets to Vegas. God, can you imagine the numbers he could put up in Vegas in the PCL? So it's exciting. And then also knowing that Luis Morales is here too. That's exciting for the organization.
Yeah, Luis Morales is here. Hey, listen, if you hate it, I get it, but sorry. This is what's best for the future.
5 tools guy, good-looking ball player.
You're talking about getting an everyday player who could be a star. Looks like he's going to be a star. We're going to have Jesús Cano from Baseball America is going to tell you. I talked to David Feinstein today, who is our assistant general manager, runs all our international scouting. Goes, this kid's going to be a star. How do you not make this deal? How do you not make this deal? You got 51 games left. Once again, your record's 48-63. You've got to do what's best for the future of the team. And if you don't like it, once again, I get it. You hate losing players. This was not a cash deal. This was not about money. Padres came to the A's, and they dangled the ultimate carrot, and I don't know how you don't take a bite out of it.
Yeah, and we're trying to look. The last time we had a prospect ranked this high in the top 100 in baseball, I believe you have to go all the way back to when Addison Russell was ranked 5th in our farm system. So that's how long it's been since we had a guy this highly regarded in our organization. And yeah, Kurtz and Wilson weren't that high, but obviously we know what they're doing. But having a guy like this who could be an all-world player like Francisco Lindor, switch hitting shortstop, it's pretty exciting for if you're an A's fan going towards the future and having this kid in the system.
If you're thinking about the future and what this team could be when you start adding the kind of talent to Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson and Denzel Clark and Lawrence Butler,
Sodi.
I mean, you're adding your position player core. People going into this trade deadline, you already had people like Mark DeRosa was on MLB Network on MLB Central singing the praises of, I'm looking at their core. This core has the potential to be something really special. And now you've added Leo DeVries, he was number 3 prospect in all of baseball. And people believe if he was in this year's draft, he'd be the first player chosen. You're not going to trade a closer for that?
Yeah,
and let's face it, not a totally complete closer.
No. I mean, we found out this year because last year had a really good year. Mason was awesome last year, all-star, everything. But this year you saw he wasn't invincible. Teams are getting to him. They're catching up to the fastball.
And I'm not trying to – I don't want to bag on you just have to explain the deal. I didn't look at Twitter yesterday. I played golf with the great Ken Korak, Hall of Fame voice of the Athletics.
Stuff, Towny.
And I stayed off Twitter, so I just assumed what people were saying.
Everyone assumed that we got rid of it because of money. But neither of those
guys
had
nothing to do with money.
Neither of those guys
and if that's what you believe, then you know what?
It is what it is.
Your opinion kind of doesn't matter anymore because the business is different. This is truly preparing for something, for when this team moves to Vegas in 2028. And I guarantee you all the people who hate it are all the people who hate the idea of Las Vegas.
Oh,
which
yes.
I'm sorry, but the business has to move forward.
Yeah. Not just us. There's a lot of people, every major person that's a writer, insider, whatever, everyone loved the move for us.
Totally.
The organization. There was like maybe one person that gave us like a B, but still a B on the trade. But everyone else said A and said we're a winner along with the Padres, the Mets, the Yankees getting bullpen guys. They put us as a winner. So
who are these kids that the Athletics got from the Padres? Jesus Cano from Baseball America will join us next right here on A's Cast Live.
Get your group together and check out all our great hospitality spaces for bonding opportunities, events, or a fun outing of your friends and family. There are 20, 50, and 100-person indoor suites available for select games, as well as an 80-person open-air area with a shaded cover. Secure your group today at athletics.com/hospitality. JJ Bleday was on A's Cast Live and explained what changed for the A's during the second half of 2024.
I think it was just like putting up good series against those good teams. We might not have won every single series, against those winning teams, but just like splitting series and taking 2 out of 3 against some good teams. We just had that swagger that second half of the season. And guys like Law, guys like Rooker, Gela, I mean, they just like some of these guys just went on some tears to absolutely just get us going and get in that mindset of, hey, we can compete here. We can compete with the best of them. Let's just like keep our head down and keep doing what we're doing because things are going to turn around and we're going to get some dubs. That's what happened. And same with our pitching. Our pitching came in clutch in certain areas. Our bullpen came in clutch in certain areas. And we were able to put up runs. Like I felt like there was a 1 month where it just seemed like we were putting up 12 runs a game. And it was that handing off the baton to the next guy, having good quality at bats. Not even though it's not a home run or a double or we're slugging, we're able to kind of have that long at bat. Get that guy's pitch count up on the rubber and really get in their bullpen and expose them as best we can. And it comes with just the mindset of feeding off one another, and then it speaks to our coaching as well. I think Darren, Cots, Crony, they did a good job at really getting us in that right mindset. Come spring training, and it just paid off.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast. For just $25, fans can sit in the general admission outfield grass for all regular season home games. Tickets for that day's game will open up daily at 9 a.m. for purchase at athletics.com/lawn. Sign up to receive A's alerts to receive a text the first morning of each home series as a reminder. For more information, Visit athletics.com/lawn. Calling all college and grad students. Grab your friends and head to the ballpark with this special offer. Save up to 50% off select regular season games throughout the 2025 season. Get your discounted tickets at athletics.com/student.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, now joining us here on A's Cast Live, he's one of our all-time favorites from Sirius XM, Channel 89, Power Alley. He is one of the hosts, and now he's going to be here doing play-by-play with the D-backs. The great Mike Ferrin is here. How are you, my friend?
It's great to see you. I'm very impressed by how much mousse you have in your hair.
You like
an
that?
Extreme amount.
Do you see the wind? It doesn't move.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything could move that.
This isn't my first rodeo.
I like the fact that you dress up when you're on site as opposed to like when you're doing it from your garage. And it's like I'm sitting there, I've got a fan going over my head that makes it look like I got one of those beanies with a propeller on it, and like you're in a hoodie, I feel like we dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah,
we wore shirts with collars.
Now that we're doing the show on NBC every day, those days are kind of over. That's only going to be an off season, so now you have to dress up and actually look nice and do makeup. Look at the fancy lights we got in the set. We've kind of graduated since you last saw us.
Congratulations, big boy, on finally making it.
How are you?
I'm great. It's great to see you.
Play-by-play for the D-backs. You got to be loving that.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it's been a disappointing road trip for them. I mean, they were 1-5 on it.
Yeah.
And obviously the trade deadline, coming into this season, I don't think anybody really predicted that they'd be in a position where they were going to sell. But, it's been a slog of late. And the offense disappeared at the worst time. Obviously, injuries have had a huge impact on them. They lost Corbin Burns for the year. They lost their two top relievers. They're without a couple of guys in the lineup right now, not including the guys that they traded to Seattle. So it's been a little bit of a rough go. But, now, as you know, the last 2 months of the year can be about opportunity, and they have some guys that they're trying to give chances to see if they can be part of a team that's going to compete next year, because they have no interest in tearing it down to the studs and going through a rebuild. They want to try and get back to being competitive again next season.
All right, let's quickly get through this. What'd you think of the A's moves yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like, if you're going to trade Mason Miller, like, that was about as well as you could possibly do, right? Leo Dallas DeVries is a really intriguing infield prospect. I mean, the fact that he's more than holding his own at 18 in full season ball is extremely encouraging. Braden Nett is a guy that, talking to a scout that I know who has had the Padres system for years, thought he was the best pitching prospect that they had, and then with the right pitching development, you could end up with a mid-rotation starter, and then you get a couple of big arms beyond that. So I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'm sure it stinks to lose Miller because he was such high octane. I think probably from a practical standpoint, it also stinks to lose JP Sears because he's been such an important arm. But I thought, that move in particular was one that really felt like it set the A's up. And, man, like, you've seen it, right, with the young position players. Like, if the pitching starts to match this within the next year or so, I think they're really going to have something. I mean, this team, outside of that stretch from the end of May to the beginning of June, has been an above 500 team.
Or you could say, at least, or be fair, around 500, which would put you still in the mix.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. Like, you lose 20 out of 21, right? And other than that, what are you, 16 games under 500 right now? So you'd be right there in that mix, without a doubt. So, things are starting to trend in the right direction, I think, for the A's on the field. And it's really good to see, because I think once the pitching starts to match the young position player group, there's going to be something fun.
All right, we were supposed to go out last night, but he had a show this morning to do. Well, that's what I told Cody. I'm like, he's got to talk about trades at 7 a.m. When you think about the 37 deals, what stood out the most to you?
How aggressive the Padres were in adding. I mean, obviously the Miller-Sears deal was the one that started things and everybody went, whoa. I mean, I thought that, like, their deals up and down. The one with Baltimore to add O'Hearn and Laureano was a big one. You saw Ramon for a long time. Like, that's a great energy guy, really good player. He's having a great year, too. I thought the Freddie Fermin trade was an under-the-radar one. The catcher from Kansas City, he doesn't get the same love there because of Sal Perez, but that guy's a really good player. I thought they had a great deadline. I thought Minnesota was stunning just from the number of players that they traded. It had been a long time since we'd seen a team trade 10 big leaguers off their major league roster, like 40% of the team gone over the course of 4 days, and all of it tied to, they're in the middle of a sale, right? So it's all tied to that. Correa going to the Astros, I'm sure, didn't thrill a whole lot of American League West teams, but
very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
And playing Bregman as we speak right now.
Yeah, at
Bregman
Fenway, right? Yeah. Like they're both playing third base.
It's
in
like,
that.
wow.
So I thought those were, the ones that, those are pretty chalky. And then I think there were some teams that, they left something on the table, right?
I want your duds. Who's your duds?
Yeah, I think the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Tigers certainly could have done more. They had farm systems that would allow you to do that and still not gut the system. And I think that there were things that they could have pushed in for. You only get so many bites of the apple. You know this as well as anybody. I mean, you've watched it with the way the A's have cycled through winning and losing seasons. Like, when you have a chance, you have to go for it. I didn't feel like they did.
Billy
the other
Bean's
one.
mantra was always, "We got a shot, go for it."
Yeah, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity in those spots because the future isn't guaranteed, right? You know what's in front of you in these next 55 games or whatever in the postseason this year. So give yourself best chance to win in October. The other one I was really disappointed in was Pittsburgh. I know they added a lot of bats, but they were really far away from the big leagues. That's a team that has a win-now pitching staff that does not have win-now position players. And the fact that they didn't add anybody that they can plug right into that lineup, I thought was a major loss for the Pirates. So those were the 4 teams that I was really focused on that I was disappointed in.
SiriusXM, you can get it in your car. You can get it on your phone. It doesn't get Power Alley, your show with the great the Duke. He's Jim Duquette. The Duke is phenomenal. You cannot beat morning. I mean, throughout the day is great, and it gives you a reason. Baseball year-round. Plus, you think SiriusXM for all. I mean, football's at 88. Football season's coming back. So
look at this. You're basically like a walking promo for the company. We need to hire you just to be our hype man.
That's what I do. My job is to
be a hype man.
My job is to make money, my friend. I'm just not here. And by the way, it's wax in the hair, not mousse. I'm just not here as a pretty face. I'm here to deliver some cash.
It might as well be lacquer the way that thing isn't moving. My gosh, I think there are decks that have less refinement to it than that.
You think it's windy now?
I can't stop looking at it. There's not a hair that's moved at all.
And remember, as my friend who's a beauty pageant, hairspray is your friend.
Yes, that's true.
Hey, if you think it's windy now, wait till the post-game show.
Can't wait to tune it in.
I will be here all day, folks. Hey, you are the man.
Good to see you, buddy.
Power Alley is, I think, one of the best baseball shows of all time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. Jesús Cano from Baseball America joined me earlier today to break down the trade between the Athletics and the Padres and the Athletics and the Reds. Now joining us here on A's Cast Live. Yes, he's a big shot now with Baseball America down in Arizona, but Bay Area fans, Northern California fans. Jesús Cano grew up in Pittsburgh, California, grew up an Athletics fan, and he joins us here after a huge trade deadline and, of course, 2 big trades by the Athletics yesterday. Jesús, it's great to have you on the program. How are you?
Towny, thanks so much, man. I'm surviving this Phoenix heat right now. It's nice to be indoors, man, but I was locked in here all day with the trade deadline and woke up bright and early to the massive Mason Miller trade, man. So that is a big talking point, but I'm excited to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me.
So you grew up an A's fan, so you know all about A's Cast and what I've been doing with the A's for years.
Exactly. Yeah, no, grew up going to games, through a school, the Home Run Readers program, instantly draw hooked because I'm an East Bay kid. And yeah, grew up to plenty of games at the Coliseum, not just baseball, but, Raider games, Mexico soccer games. So I would say a lot of my foundation and who I am as a person is because I spent so much time at the Coliseum, man.
Well, it is an honor to have you on the program. And I was watching you guys. I watched the replay of it yesterday, Baseball America, right after the trade. And then J.J. Cooper got all 4 of you in boxes. And I was watching. And, I totally understand for A's fans. They're like, here we go again. But this, you got to explain this is different. Like, this is when you get DeVries, who played already yesterday, he's playing again tonight for the Lansing Lugnuts at 18 years old. This is a superstar. He's one of the highest rated prospects ever traded. He's got superstar written all over him. And really my first question would be, if he was born in the United States and he was just graduating from high school and he was in the draft, how high of a pick do you think he would be if he went the traditional route and not the international route?
1 of 1. No question. I mean, there's a reason why he was such a coveted player from when he was 12, 13 years old in the Dominican Republic. I mean, this guy, you take a look at him, he is a ball player. I've got to interview him at the prospect pad for Baseball America. I've spoken to him in the past, carries himself like a big leaguer at just 18 years old. I mean, this guy is somebody that's going to be a perennial all-star. Scouts love this guy. They love watching him play. He has a lot of comps to Francisco Lindor. So I think that tells you all you need to know about Leo Debris. A's fans should be excited that they were able to get him here.
So you're saying if he was in the draft, he's going number one?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's going number one. I mean, the talent is there, has a great swing, great contact hitter, developing into power. I mean, this guy's a superstar. He dresses like a superstar. He looks like a superstar, and he plays like a superstar. It didn't take that long for A's fans to find that out last night when he recorded the hit with the Lansing Lugnuts.
Oh, Mark Kotsay told us a story earlier today. When they contacted him, when the A's contacted him, he was filling up his car at the gas station going, I'm going to be in Lansing in 2 hours. Make sure the manager puts me in the lineup. The minute he got traded, he's like, I'm going to Lansing. I want to play now. I want to show you what I got. A lot of guys would have wanted to maybe take a day or so. He wanted to be in the lineup that day. It kind of tells you what this 18-year-old is all about.
And that shows true commitment because he grew up a Padres fan. He grew up watching, makes you feel old, but he grew up watching Fernando Tatis. He grew up watching Manny Machado. So playing for the Padres was his dream. And for him to instantly be like, I'm in the car, I'm ready to go. Let's go out. Let's play some ball. I think that shows the maturity, but it also shows the commitment for him for being like, you know what? It doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out there and compete. And like I mentioned earlier, right away, we were able to see that.
So we always think about when a guy's 18 years old, it just seems like forever he's going to be here, right? Is it going to be at 23, 24 years old? He's going to have to get so many at-bats. He's going to have to mature. He's going to have to season before he's able to play at the highest level. I'm not so sure with this kid. I was reading yesterday that some people thought that with the Padres, he could be up in 2026. For sure be up in 2027. We obviously with the Athletics are looking at the timeline of 2028 for the new ballpark in Las Vegas. You've seen him, you know him. When do you think he could reach the big league level with the Athletics?
I think he could definitely push for 2026, but I'm talking about late 2026. I think 2027, I think he'll be able to make it up to the roster. You got to also remember, this is a guy who skipped the Dominican Summer League. He skipped the Arizona Complex League and reported straight to low A Lake Elsinore, and now he's over in high A right now. I mean, at 18 years old, we can go back, remember what we were doing at 18 years old. It certainly wasn't playing high A baseball, right? So he's already faced high level. I think the only thing that maybe comes into play when you're looking at a player is that he's the youngest one. It's kind of maybe a little bit hard to evaluate guys that are that young in high A, but with the way he plays, it's easy to see that he's a superstar, that he's got all these tools, the makings, the defense, the hitting, the contact. And I know we don't grade this, but he also has the aura of a bona fide superstar too. So I think as early as 2026 is a possibility. I think 2027 for sure, but I think he's, very developed, and, it's going to be interesting to see how A's PD is able to work him to be able to become an even better player too.
So I know Baseball America, you guys had different rankings. The rankings that I have are from MLB.com. I'm sure they can't be that different. So DeVries obviously was the Padres number one. MLB.com had Brandon Nett as number three. Let's talk about him as the third prospect for the Padres. What do you know about Brandon Nett, what the A's are getting there?
So Brandon Nett, first of all, he is a true, discovery story for the Padres scouting, right? He's a guy who was pitching at St. Charles Junior College, went undrafted, and then played in the MLB Draft League, where coincidentally one of the Padres scout happened to be there, and were able to sign him. And then he's able to build himself from this guy that nobody absolutely knew about to being our number 7 prospect at Baseball America in the Padres system. And then you look at his 2025 stats, 86 strikeouts and 74.1 innings. His fastball has high octane stuff, reaches up to 98 miles per hour. And he has a 5-pitch mix, which includes a cutter, a slider, which is primary off speeds, and then a curveball and a changeup that he uses his arsenal. He has a high ceiling with time and refinement and a potential impact arm. He was pitching in Double-A, I believe, this past season. But I think he's in a position right now where, especially with the A's have been developing pitchers as of late, a couple of guys, standing out like Gay Jump, Luis Morales, just to name a few. I think he could be a guy that could finish the season in AAA and might be able to even compete for a spot, maybe next year in spring training, depending on what the rotation and what the bullpen looks like. So I think this is like a true discovery, and it's a grinder, Chris. And I think when you talk about baseball players in the journey, you have to be a true grinder, and it really pays off when you're able to put in positions like this. So I think Braden Nett, with A's fans, and just as more information comes about him, you're really going to discover about the grind and also the attitude that got him to this point.
Yeah, he was in Double-A. Now, Nunez is going to – I'll ask about him last. He's going to be here tonight here with the Athletics. So that's Braden Nett. So Henry Baez, MLB.com had him number 13 for the Padres. Where did you guys have him?
We had him at number 22.
Okay.
Yeah, we had him at number 22. I mean, signed in 2019 for $125,000. And the interesting thing about him is originally when he was signed, his velocity on his fastball was in mid-80s. Now it sits between 93 and 95, which is a massive, massive upgrade. And he's been able to do really good, has above average command and has a lot of improvement. I mean, the off-speed arsenal is really good, 77 to 79 mile per hour curve. It gets a little bit slower sometimes, but it has really good chase and miss potential, but it's going to need a little bit more power. And we're starting to see that a little bit more as he continues to play on too. So he also increased his sinker usage a bit, and I think it's like a better fit for his mix too. So he's just adding a lot more stuff. Also pitched in Double-A, not sure what he'll report with the A's, but also an arm that isn't too far away from seeing the return on investment here with this trade.
Yeah, they were both at Double-A, so we'll see where the Athletics are going to put them. We'll talk to David Force about that in just a little bit. Eduardanel, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Eduardanel Nunez is going to be here tonight with the Athletics. MLB.com had him number 17. Where'd you guys have him?
We had him at number 14, so pretty close range.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to see tonight here at the ballpark in West Sacramento?
We're going to see gas. I mean, if he gets the opportunity to get in, I mean, we're talking about a power arm with a fastball that sits between 97, 99 and has touched 100 in the past. In fact, was watching some video of him before I hopped on this call with you because he pitched at 102 miles per hour once in a recorded game. So he obviously, the arms right there is a really good bullpen piece, but he also has a couple other pitches to offer too. A slider that sits in the upper 80s that's starting to become his put away pitch. And he also incorporates a mid 80s curveball once in a while too. But I mean, the biggest thing with him is the most important thing with a pitcher, right? He throws fast and he's able to hit strikes. And I think he's as he's able to develop a little bit more in his career, I think he's a guy that could become a high leverage relief potential with a lot of swing and miss stuff.
And what do we know? Miguel Andujar is going to Cincinnati. In return, the Athletics get right-handed pitcher Kenya Huggins. What do we know about Kenya?
Well, Kenya was also a JUCO guy similar to Nett, and he's a guy that kind of also grinded through. He was drafted by the Reds in the 4th round in 2022, but went through Tommy John surgery in June of 2023, returned in late 2024. Prior to this year, he was pitching out a single low-A Dayton down there before being promoted to high A. The thing with him, too, is he's strong, athletic, 6'3", righty with a solid 3-pitch mix, has a fastball that sits at 94 miles per hour, can touch 97, a slider that's at 89, 91 miles per hour, and most impressively is a changeup, that comes with that sits at 87, 91, but has a 33% miss rate in 2025. So I think the bigger thing with him too was when he was first drafted, he was struggling a little bit with command. Post-surgery, though, he was able to throw a lot more consistent strikes. So we've seen a lot of development there on that side. I think for him, his potential, I think he's still a while away. But he was assigned to high A Lansing from what I was able to see. And as long as he's able to develop his secondaries a little bit more, I think there's a potential for him to have a role with the team at some point. I think his profile right now sits more as a reliever, but if everything clicks well, if the A's are able to develop him properly, I think there's a potential that he could sneak into the rotation once he's able to move into the majors.
Well, great stuff. We truly appreciate the time and the information. I got to tell you, from Commander Cody's standpoint, I've never really allowed a Fresno State graduate to come on the program. As you know, being a San Jose State guy, that just doesn't fly. But terrific job. Keep your phone on. We're going to keep calling you about information about a lot of our different players. Obviously, we've had a long-time relationship with Baseball America, and J.J. Cooper has done such a great job. So really appreciate the time. We'd like to have you on a lot more here on A's Cast Live.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Chris. And by the way, real quick before I let you go, if any A's fans want to pick up a copy of Baseball America with Lawrence Butler on it, it's not the cover, it's the wrap. The wrap is the draft preview that we have right here. But these are available to order at Barnes & Noble. Want to get the Law Dog laying down the law. Really good addition to the collection. But thanks so much for having me, man. And thanks so much.
Wait. So that's at Barnes & Noble right now? You can get that?
Yes. If you go to Barnes & Noble, you're able to get it so far. So it's all good. It's a great cover. I have plenty available for my friends too. So it's a hot commodity right now.
Well, hey, you guys keep doing a great job. You guys always, you've covered baseball like nobody else. We appreciate the time, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right, jam-packed show. So here's the deal. We're going to get to the Mark Kotsay show. Correct. I can't believe you brought a Fresno guy on.
Oh, well.
Make me want to puke.
I think it's the last time that our Spartans play Fresno as members of the Mountain West.
Makes me want to puke. All right, Mark Kotsay show. Now, our terrestrial friends will have to break away for Johnny and Ken, but if you want to listen to the entire, watch the entire, stay on YouTube, stay on Twitter, and you can watch the entire Mark Kotsay show.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, buddy.
All right, here is the manager. Now for the Mark Kotsay show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. After the trading deadline, obviously it's hard to lose players, but you know you're gaining for the future. Always a tough one for the manager, though, because those are some tough conversations you got to have with guys that you really care about.
Yeah, I think, you said it correctly in terms of them being tough conversations. Anytime whether it's trading a player, sending a player out, making a player, uncomfortable, they're definitely uncomfortable conversations. But when you trade somebody, you're obviously you're not ending a relationship, you're just changing the relationship. True. And for Mason, JP, and Miggy, all three of those guys, I've had great relationships with them. I imagine I'll still continue to have a different relationship from afar, but one that I care about each individual and their success. And, obviously it was a tough day yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt. And JP Sears been here for a while, right? And we came over from the Yankees, and he's been nothing but steady. And obviously Mason Miller was so dynamic. And as you mentioned, Miguel Andujar was just a great stick and a great leader in the clubhouse for you. But things change in our game, and you're looking at the future now. And we've already seen Leo DeVries step up in Lansing. He played last night. He's playing today again for the Lugnuts. And this is a special talent at 18 years old. Like if he was in our country and he was in the actual draft, he would be a top 5 pick, if not the first overall pick. Talk about this 18-year-old that you're getting, because he was untouchable. You had AJ Preller, the general manager of the Padres, telling everybody, like Boston wanted him, all these teams wanted him, untouchable until Mason Miller was brought up. So tell us what the A's are getting with this looks like could be a superstar young 18-year-old.
Oh, I think you described him really well. But the description in terms of talent, I can expand on just in a day knowing the drive that this young man has. So yesterday he was obviously contacted in the morning and told he was being traded to the Athletics. And within 2 hours, he had his bags packed. His car was at the gas station. When we contacted him to make him aware that he was going to Lansing, he was like, I'm filling my car with gas. It's a 2-hour drive. Make sure the manager has me in the lineup. So that says a lot about this young man, the drive he has to go along with the talent that we all obviously have been reading about and have been watching. And like you said, he went out, led off, I think got a hit, and made an unbelievable fearless catch going out into center field over his head with center fielder coming full speed that he has never played with. All of those intangibles, all those things you look for in the makeup of a player, he has right now, and that's special at 18.
Some people have projected that he was potentially going to make the Padres at some point next year, if not probably be there in 2027. It's tough to put projections on an 18-year-old, but I don't think he's going to be down there long. And what we have seen now with Kurtz and Jacob Wilson getting here fast, are you going to be shocked if he's here sooner than people think?
Well, I think, this is, like you said, he's an 18-year-old kid that obviously didn't go through a college experience. So the maturation process from certain levels of, dealing with failure or dealing with off-the-field distractions, I mean, those things take time. But the talent is there. The talent continues to show that he can, play obviously at the high A level at 18. And I loved your opening in terms of where he would be slotted in the draft. You look, there was 3 high school shortstops that were taken, I think, in the first 15 picks of the draft this year. And, the Holiday kid was probably the first I think he was the first shortstop taken. I think this kid would have been right there with Holiday, in terms of that area to be selected. And so I wouldn't be surprised from the skill set, the talent level for him to have an accelerated path, but still he's 18, he's a prospect, and he still has a lot of challenges in front of him.
Luis Morales, we've heard so much. He actually just pitched here for the Aviators against the River Cats. He's now coming up, obviously very familiar with the ballpark. Talk about this new weapon that you're going to have, another top prospect that's coming up for the Athletics.
Yeah, a top prospect that we didn't, obviously think that he'd touch us this year. We felt there would be an opportunity maybe at the end of the year with what's transpired. He's getting a great chance to come up and spend 2 months with us and, learn how things are done at the big league level, learn the preparation, learn the, just how to go about your day. And for Luis, this is a kid that's traveled from Cuba, obviously. His journey's been pretty long. It's been, there's been a lot of challenges through his journey to get where he's at. And I'm sure today is one of the best days of his life, in terms of accomplishing a goal that he set out a long time ago to do.
As you mentioned, you got to have a lot of respect because the way that he got here, just the way, the Cuban players have to get here. It's you want to talk about having to grow up fast as a young man.
Yeah, the Cubans definitely are more mature. That for sure. The life experiences that they go through, the challenges and the adversities that they face to get out of that country, to be able to, have this opportunity to play Major League Baseball. They seem to be more seasoned and advanced in that way.
I know a lot of things are fluid right now with losing JP Sears out of the rotation. Do you have an idea how you're going to replace him here in the next 51 games?
Well, we definitely have options. And like we talked about, JT Ginn has moved into the rotation out of the bullpen. You look at Perkins, who's a kid that was in the rotation in AAA that we brought here. We've used him in ways out of the bullpen pretty consistently, multiple inning guy. So he still has some length. It would be a build-up process for Perk, and that's definitely being talked about, giving him a chance to go into the rotation. But like you said, Luis Morales has been a starter throughout the season. You also have as Walabito, who's a long guy in the pen right now, who hasn't seen a lot of work, but another guy that can step in and fill that rotation spot. So we do have options, and we'll weigh those and see how we proceed forward. But right now, I would say Perkins is probably at the top of the list.
Yeah, I love JT Ginn, Perkins, so similar bodies, thick down below, strong kids, and look forward to them being in the rotation, hopefully, for a long, long time. And then the question is, how are you going to close games out? Is this going to be matchups, or do you see one guy maybe could emerge, someone you really trust?
Well, I think Kelly's done a nice job. And for Michael, he's got a little bit more experience than others down in the bullpen. I mean, Alvarado, Elvis has done a nice job. We've kind of brought him along really well. He's had a lot of confidence, a lot of success over the last few outings for him. He's a guy that's closed games in AAA. And then Newcomb has been throwing the ball extremely well. There was a lot of interest in Nuke as well, over the deadline. But I've been really impressed with him. Right, left doesn't seem to matter. He's using that backdoor sweeper really well. He's using the sinker really well, and he's elevating some four-seamers. He's got velo that's up from 94 to 98 now, which, has been impressive.
You mentioned Alvarado. Like when we first saw him, kind of all over the place. And now and I can tell you're gaining trust by we're starting to see how you use them. And when you see somebody who just, it's effortless, it looks like 98 to 100 miles an hour. Like if he's able to throw strikes, his stuff looks like it could be absolutely dominant. As he continues to grow, you see, especially as he grows mentally, you could see him as a potential closer, correct?
Yeah, I think there's that future. The strike throwing is his biggest thing. It's free bases that usually kill him. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. It's tough when you're sending a guy out in the ninth inning, that has history of walking hitters. There's a lot more anxiety in the ninth than there is in the sixth or the seventh. So, we'll look at those options. Another kid that we called here today from the Miller trade. I probably will butcher his first name right now. I'm going to try it though. Edwarniel.
You're close.
Edwarniel Nunez. So Noonie. We'll go Noonie. He's got an electric arm. This kid's up to 99. He's got a 88 to 90 mile an hour slider. He's pitched a few innings with the Padres. He spent most of his time in AAA, but another electric arm. So there's some velocity down in that bullpen right now that we haven't had maybe in the past. You got Morales that can throw 98 to 100. You've got this Nunez kid that can go up to 98, 99. You've got Alvarado down there throwing 100. Even for Kelly, he's touched 98 recently. The ball's coming out of his hand really well, and Newcomb's also got some velo. So there's
been dynamite.
There's some velo down in the bullpen, and now it's just about settling in, finding their roles, and for me to help them with that success.
Yeah, it's been great watching Newcomb. And you can tell the confidence you're getting in when it's like, hey, 2 innings. I don't care it's righty or lefties. You feel like you can get anybody out. He's been a lot of fun to watch. He's just been absolutely electric. On an injury note, just how tough was it for Jacob Wilson? Because he tried to battle through it, right? It's just, it's tough to live with that kind of pain.
Yeah. A hand is pretty much, we don't think of these as really, really valuable, but they are. Because when you hold a baseball bat,
you realize
to try to hold a baseball bat, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of hand strength to get that bat through the zone to hit a moving baseball, and when it doesn't feel right, it impacts performance. So, for both Max, for Muncy, for Wilson, both guys with hand injuries, we're hopeful that we can get these guys back sooner than later. And obviously for Denzel Clark, Denzel will hit on the field today, which is a good sign. We'd like to see Denzel back just from a development standpoint.
Yeah, just how much, I got a chance to talk to Muncy, and he thinks he's going to be back relatively soon. Just how important is it for the young guys to at least finish out playing the season?
Not just for young guys, for any player that's on the IL right now, it's really, really important for them to try to get a couple weeks of baseball in prior to the offseason, and just for their confidence really to go into an offseason where they've finished out playing. It relieves a lot of anxiety about, how they come out and how they come to spring training.
All right, let's end on this. Will you address the team? Do you do it individually? Will you mention it? Like, how do you address right after the trade deadline?
There's nothing really needed to be said. This group knew, that there was an chance that we would move some guys. I think that the nucleus in that room is still pertains to the offense and to the group that's led us for this season. So, the bullpen, these guys down there, with Mason being removed, they know they're going to have to fill different roles. So there's not a lot to be said. We're going to continue to move forward. We're just coming off a great series win against Seattle, 6-4 in 10 divisional games that we knew we needed to play well in, and could have been better. But at that point, 6-4 in division was pretty good. So now we got to focus on the Diamondbacks this weekend, and go off to DC and Baltimore.
Correct. Well, next time we talk to you, be on the road. Appreciate you coming on. Obviously not easy after the trading deadline. It's the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford.
For just $25, fans can sit in the general admission outfield grass for all regular season home games. Tickets for that day's game will open up daily at 9 a.m. for purchase at athletics.com/lawn. Sign up to receive A's alerts to receive a text the first morning of each home series as a reminder. For more information, visit athletics.com/lawn. This has been a presentation of The Athletics.